This is Francophone West Africa. For over 60 years, it has been a bloc of nations tied to France through currency, politics, and military agreements, a system many call neo-colonialism.
The French never left. And even the nature of French colonization itself was such that, unlike the British, who they imposed their language, their religion, and parts of their culture on you for the purpose of imposing an economic system to extract from you. That was it. It was a business transaction. The French went a bit further than that. The French kind of almost tried to integrate these cultures that they conquered militarily into French culture. So there's this very insidious sort of psychological warfare that was conducted against their colonies, where the people in those colonies have been raised to think of themselves as junior Frenchmen.
But now, that map is being fundamentally rebranded, and it started here. Shortly after taking power, Ibrahim Traoré didn't just kick French troops out of Burkina Faso. He forged a new military and economic alliance with his neighbors, Mali and Niger, who had also undergone similar anti-French coups, and they call it the Alliance of Sahel States. This isn't just a symbolic gesture, it is a direct challenge to the old colonial order, and for the powers that have benefited from that order, it is an existential threat.
That group of people believe that the rise of Ibrahim Traoré represents an existential threat to the Nigerian establishment, because if an Ibrahim Traoré were to rise in Nigeria, you know what that would mean for the Nigerian establishment. Basically, a lot of people are going to die.
If this revolutionary self-sufficient spirit spread, it could unravel the entire system of extraction that has defined the region for a century.
The position that African countries have been given in the existing global order of things is that they must be producers of raw materials, cheap labor, and nothing more.
This new alliance is a declaration. They want to be more. Since 2020, 6 coups have taken place across West and Central Africa: Mali, Guinea, Chad, Sudan, Niger, and Burkina Faso. It is the widest wave of military takeover since the 1970s. At the center of this upheaval in the Sahel, a region battered by climate change, insurgencies, and decades of failed governance. And in every one of these coups, the story is similar: younger soldiers overthrowing older leaders, with France pushed out of the picture. In Burkina Faso, the shift was dramatic. In early 2023, Traoré gave French troops 1 month to leave. France claimed it was there to fight terrorism, but for the Burkinabe, France has come to symbolize exploitation and failure.
France has been here for about 70 years. They are here, they have barracks here. We've never heard that a French soldier died.
By expelling them, Traoré wasn't just making a tactical decision, he was making a statement. Burkina Faso would no longer be a client of Paris. The crowds in Ouagadougou cheered. Traoré became the face of defiance, and suddenly, Burkina Faso, a country most of the world can't find on a map, was leading a movement. But breaking ties doesn't mean standing alone. With France gone, Traoré turned to new partners. Russia stepped in with arms and advisors, and Burkina Faso locked arms with Niger and Mali through the Alliance of Sahel States. This wasn't just a security pact, it was a new bloc, a rejection of ECOWAS, which many saw as compromised by Western interests. For the West, this pivot is alarming. It's not just about losing influence, it's about losing control over gold, uranium, and strategic geography. The old map was one of dependency. Traoré and his allies are trying to draw a new one, based on sovereignty. But Traoré's project isn't only about military alliances, it's about identity. In fiery speeches, he calls for unity, dignity, and rejecting foreign control. It's classic Pan-Africanism, an echo of leaders like Nkrumah and Sankara, but this time, it's landing differently. Africa has the youngest population in the world. The average age is just 19, but its leaders are on average over 60. At 36, Traoré is the world's youngest head of state, and he looks, speaks, and acts like the generation he represents. To Africa's youths, he's not just a distant politician. It's proof that someone their age can lead. That generational symbolism is powerful, and it's one reason Traoré's image is spreading across the continent. But here's the catch. Rebranding the map is not the same as fixing what's on the ground. The insurgency in Burkina Faso hasn't disappeared. Displacement is rising, press freedom is shrinking, and critics warn Aligning too close with Russia could simply replace one dependency with another. The danger is that Traoré becomes just another strongman, popular abroad but unable to deliver real change at home. Still, the bigger story isn't only about Burkina Faso. It's about a whole region refusing to accept the old order. It's about the youngest generation in the world demanding sovereignty, representation, and dignity. And that's why Traoré matters. He isn't just withdrawing alliances, he's forcing the world to redraw its mental map of Africa. But what specific actions are they taking that have France and its allies so nervous? It's not just about switching partners, it's about changing the fundamental rules of the game, and it starts with something as simple as building a road.